Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking about episode 22 of Green Lantern, the animated series called Love is a Battlefield. First of all, I apologize in advance if I don't sound quite right. I've been sick for the past 2 days. I'm still not at 100%. So if I sound a little off, do forgive me on that one. But I got my notes, I got some honey water, very good for a sore throat. So let's get right into it. First of all, the name of this episode, Love is a Battlefield, is a nod to a song from the 1980s by a lady called Pat Benatar. And if you're not familiar with her, back around, like, say, 1983, 1984, she was really, really very, very big. And deservedly shows. She's a very, very good singer. She's produced a number of really very good songs. I've actually got one of her CDs. I mean, her greatest hits album. I mean, I'm a fan of Pat Benatar, so I fully approve of homages to Pat Benatar in this series. Now, another musical artist who's referenced here, and I had to look this up, is a fellow by the name of Dale Hubert. And when Carol is going, love is patient, love is kind. Apparently, she's quoting a song from him. I've heard that used around the internet before. I've I've never heard of this guy before that, so I do get kind of a kick that they're referencing some older music in this series, and this is one of those things that it's going to completely go over the heads of the younger people who are watching, but folks my age who are probably going to be familiar with these type of music or music from this particular era. Well, okay, I'm not sure exactly when that Dale Hubert wrote that song, but I definitely am familiar with the 80s. So definitely a little bit of a nod to us older fans out there. Uh, now another thing, and I'm just going to remark on this briefly is I know the Zamorans seem to have maybe taken a little bit of a turn from the better from the last time we saw them, but boy, Hal and Carol sure are willing to take that they've completely abandoned their naughty ways at very much face value. I mean, let's face it, the Zamorans were up to some pretty heinous stuff, so that they're willing to let bygones be bygones to such an extreme degree is a little in my book, but you know, c'est la vie, right? Now let me see here. A lot. This basically is an episode really dedicated to giving us further insight into what's just currently going on in Aya's mind. The idea of her having love and hate battle it out with each other. It's really just completely symbolic of what is going on inside Aya's mind. You know, she still doubtlessly has feelings for Razor. We see that little flicker of something when she sees him again for the first time, but she's also obviously very much in pain. And this is, of course, the manifestation of what is supposed to represent hatred. So those are the two emotions that are really driving her at this moment. Even though she's claims to have switched off all emotions, we're kind of given some hints to the contrary, or at the very least that her status as a sentient being means that she cannot completely turn these emotions off. So, yeah, I have to say, it is really a really nice twist of the show to literally have the emotions that are at war within her come out and have them battle each other in the real world. And of course, when love triumphs, Aya immediately finds some BS reason to just go ahead and destroy Zamoran anyway. Which, of course, is to show that the Manhunter aspect of what's going on with her, the anti-monitor aspect of what's going on with her, is still very much present. And of course, to give the good guys somebody to fight against, because if things ended right here, well, there's still about 4 more episodes of the series left, so of course things can't be that easy. Now, I do have to say that I liked that we got to see Atrocitus one more time. And I like the way that this fight is handled. It really would have very much perhaps irredeemably undercut Atrocitus as a villain if Carol had been able to defeat him. Now, this isn't any kind of a knock against Carol. Carol's great. I like her as a character quite a bit. But as a power ring user, Carol is essentially a rank amateur. She's got virtually no experience using that ring. I mean, she at most has, what, a couple hours experience with a power ring? No way is she going to be able to throw down and take on Atrocitus. But she is a smart lady. She's a brave lady. She is able to use the ring ability to bring the person that she loves to her. Hal is the guy who defeated Atrocitus before, so he is obviously the best qualified person out there to take him on. And once she Hal is there, Carol kind of gets a breather. She's able to contribute to the battle in a significant and meaningful way. Now, this is, of course, signifying how in the comics she eventually does become an experienced Star Sapphire. So I do like that. I like the way that they handle this in a smart way. It sort of also, of course, at the end leaves the door open for us seeing more of Carol as a Star Sapphire, which I'm sure we would have seen if this series had ended up having a second season. But, one more thing to lament, right? Now, the death of Gaeta, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. This and her, after all of this, still being in love with Hal Jordan, I just don't really like it. I mean, she was essentially ordered to make Hal Jordan love her by Queen Agapo, which, still it seems seriously creepy. And the fact that she's still holding on to this all this time later, I mean, I'm not... Well, let's just say it's something that I have mixed feelings about. And let's leave it at that. But still, her death does seem to serve a purpose. It really does highlight, of course, what love will drive us to do. Now, however you may feel about how Gaeta felt about Hal, this episode does present her feelings for him as real, and that the sacrifice that she made to save Hal's life was indeed real. And Carol is really spot on when she completely and utterly throws that in Aya's face. And the way Aya rejects it all is just, again, a sign of the delusion that she's operating under. Aya is in pain, and she simply does not know how to deal with this. She thinks that by removing emotion from the universe, then she will remove pain from the universe. But she's really not factoring in the pain that comes from being alone. So I'm sure we'll see this touched upon in relatively short order. As I said, we only have about 4 more episodes of this series left, so I think we're going to be getting some serious resolution there. And I'm also kind of curious as to whether or not we're going to be seeing any more of Zamaron during the next episode, because as we have seen that Razor does still have these feelings for Aya, and if there's any place where that could be made into something meaningful, well, Zamaron would definitely be pretty high on the list. Now, I'm not really saying that there's much chance of Razor becoming a Star Sapphire. In fact, Green Lantern guru Jeff Johns, one of the real legends of modern Green Lantern writers, has even basically said that, and if I remember correctly, and I quote, "Most men aren't worthy of becoming Star Sapphires." I mean, so theoretically they could. There is no rule that says that the Star Sapphires have to be female. It's just, in general, Star Sapphires are female. In fact, I'm not actually aware of... I'm only actually aware of one male who ever wielded the power of the Star Sapphires. And explaining the story of what was going on with him would take a really long time. And honestly, it really wasn't that great of a story anyway, so... anyway, that leaves us with... that basically leaves us there at the end. It certainly was a really nice fight between Hal and Atrocitus. As I said, Carol, she really... She pitched in there, and she pitched in there quite well. Not really a whole lot to say with what was going on with Kilowog and Razor. this episode. Apart from briefly speaking to Aya at the end of this episode, there really wasn't much worth remarking on in regards to Razor. But I have a feeling that's probably going to change PDQ. So with that said, folks, I think I've said everything that I have to say about this episode. And I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm still not feeling so great, and my throat is not a big fan, apparently, of me talking this much, so I'm definitely going to wrap it up here. But I expect to be better, back at 100% real soon, so I'll have some more reviews for you as soon as I possibly can. And until next time, folks, first, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi. Until next time, take care and have a good one.